Tarte Amazonian Clay Foundation Wear Test. And what difference does your primer make? Hello beautiful people, this is Anne, Fabulous Life 101. Hey, thanks for tuning in today. If you're not already a subscriber, could you please hit the subscribe button and the bell notifications right now? On this channel, we cover makeup and skincare and fashion and travel, sometimes even meditation, anything that makes you feel more fabulous at any age. Okay, well, I've been going to Ulta quite a few times over the past week or so. First thing I bought was this Tarte Amazonian Clay 16-hour full coverage foundation. Now, I had been wanting to try this for a while. This is the first time I saw it in the travel size. And that's just a wonderful way to try something if you're not really sure you like it. It's full coverage matte foundation. The shade I got was light medium neutral, which is the shade I wear in pretty much all of the Tarte products. I like Tarte foundations generally. I was really intrigued by this. They say it conceals wrinkles. It's supposed to be really good anti-aging foundation. However, it is sort of matte. Amazonian clay tends to be drying. So I was a little bit concerned about it having a drying effect on my skin. So I finally bought it, and I'm really glad I did. Now when I first got it home, I tested it the next morning with no primer. And unfortunately, the results weren't that great that day. After a few hours, my skin started to feel and look a bit dry. I noticed some settling into lines. Overall, I wasn't that thrilled. It looked great at first, but it just didn't seem to hold up, particularly not 16 hours. So next thing I bought from Ulta this week was part of the 21 Days of Beauty, this Smashbox, the original Photo Finish Smooth and Blur Primer. So I decided to give this foundation a second chance with this primer. Here are my results. I'm going to shake this up good, because I found that it can come out kind of oily if you don't shake first. So I'm going to just put this on my fingertips, and it's this nice silky gel, and just rub this all over my face, particularly concentrating on places that tend to get lines, also my neck. Okay, now onto the foundation. See, it is a little bit thicker than most of the foundations I use. See, it's not really running at all. I'm going to use a brush to apply this. And just... This is a fairly full coverage foundation. I didn't use a whole lot, but I definitely see the full coverage effect. It looks very nice. I'm wondering how it's going to hold up during the day. Well, I'm going to go off camera for a minute. I'm going to do the rest of my makeup, and I'll be right back. Okay, the rest of my makeup is done. Because this Amazonian Clay foundation is very mattifying, I used some of the Lumi Glotion and added that to my cheeks to give myself a little bit of a glow. Now, I've got a business lunch and some meetings to go to today. I'll be back later this afternoon and report how this foundation held up during the course of the day. Okay, it has been 8 hours since I put on my makeup this morning, and I feel like this has held up really good. There has not been any real fading. The makeup foundation seems to be pretty much still all there. I did notice a little bit like this line on my forehead, but I'm going to just try like blotting it with the sponge, and that seems to take care of it. So far, I tried this one day before without wearing any primer, and it was settling into lines a bit and fading a bit by this time of the day. But using it with this new Smashbox Original Photo Finish Primer, and it held up really well. I'm going to do another test on it using it with a different primer, one of my budget primers, probably my e.l.f. Putty Primer, and just to let you know how that went as well. Well, I decided to try it one more time, and this time use my old favorite drugstore primer, the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. So let's see how that works out. Okay, this is my third morning applying Tarte Amazonian Clay First day, I didn't record it. I just put it on, no primer, and it started to settle into lines and to look dry by midday. Yesterday, I used it with the new gel primer I've just bought from Smashbox, and it held up remarkably well. It looked good and lasted all day. So today, I'm going to use my favorite drugstore primer, the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, and see how it works with that. Okay, I'm going to let this dry for a few seconds and then put on the foundation. Okay, here goes. I think I'm going to change the application process a little bit today too and use a slightly damp sponge. See, here is the foundation. Just see if it makes it go on any different with a slightly damp sponge. And it is tapping on very smoothly this way. Blend it in. Okay, going off the camera to do the rest of my makeup, and I'll be right back. Okay, the rest of my makeup is done. Again, I added a little bit of Lumi Glotion to my cheeks to give me a little bit of glow, particularly since this foundation is a bit mattifying. So I'm going to touch back again later today and let you know how it held up using the e.l.f. Putty Primer. Okay, now it's been about 7.5, almost 8 hours since I put on my foundation, and it is still looking incredibly fresh. Today I used the Tarte Amazonian Clay Foundation with the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. And yesterday I did the same with the different primer with the Smashbox primer. Not sure I noticed any really difference in terms of the primers. This one is more of a gel. This one is more of just sort of a putty. So it's kind of your preference. Plus this is drugstore. This is usually a little more expensive. I got a good deal on it this week because of Ulta's 21 Days of Beauty. But I highly recommend both of these primers, particularly if you have semi-dry skin and you want to use a more matte type foundation. And I am, after using this with the primers and also adding a little bit of Lumi Glotion to give me a little bit of a glow, I do highly recommend this Amazonian Clay Foundation. So that's the video for today. If you liked it, could you please give us a thumbs up? Also, if you have a favorite foundation, a favorite primer, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment down below. So thanks for watching. Have a fabulous day. Peace, love, and light.